I'll hear me now. Hell. So I said I pop on tonight, and there's obviously a couple of stories doing the rounds today that were linked again with Andy Robertson off Liverpool, who's a free agent in the summer. We're linked with a handful of names as well from Scottish football as well. Talks gone around that Shaun Maloney's identifying targets in the league, a defensive midfielder, attacking player, a guy that can play left wing, right behind the striker, and then we're looking at Masvanise as well off Motherwell. So instead of pop on tonight, have a chat, which is go through these players, talk about last night, talk about Aberdeen's manager's rage, claiming that the goal was offside as well. Let me know if the sound's okay because I just clicked up to a little microphone on me top. So let me know if the sound is all right, so I can do the podcast. Hope everyone's doing good. John, how are you getting on, John? How are you getting on, Stevie? Hello to everyone over on Facebook. Hello to everyone over on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, the same name, come on the Hoop Celtic, would be really appreciated as well. So just want to give a random shout out as well to the Streets Were My member for this hoodie. He sent me about 6 months ago. Always tend to wear it around the gaff. So how's it going, Lindsay? Sound is good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Right. So before we go on and dig in about players that were linked with Hibs, defensive midfielder, two Motherwell players, Andy Robertson, what did you honestly think of the game last night? Be honest in the comments. I thought, we scraped a win. We weren't aggressive in our play. I just really believe that we actually have a striker crisis at Celtic. We have a striker issue. And we need to sort this issue out soon because if we want to win the league, we got to have a striker scoring goals. We can't keep relying on Benji Negrin. Can't keep relying on left backs. Hopefully, Tierney will be okay for the weekend. Obviously, the tackle he received last night, the stamp on his ankle was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. So I don't know if Dane Murray is going to be available for Sunday. The chances are quite slim. I know a lot of people earlier on and comments when I put up on my social media. What did you think of Benjamin Arthur's performance? People saying he was steady, looked quite composed on the ball. Now, this is a guy who's only played 5 senior appearances in his whole career for Brentford. And I have to say, I was impressed with him last night. It was a bit rocky to start. And look, if you're being told you're on the bench going into a game, getting told last minute that you're getting thrown to the deep end, would you be a little bit rocky at first? Of course you would. So it didn't help with Scales being all over the shop and, Sinisalo telling the boys to push up instead of passing it back to him. You're not going to win leagues by having an average of 40% possession in your own half between the back two. It's just not good enough, It isn't good enough. I just think there's a lot of issues there with our team that pointing out how can we win a league if we're going to keep doing if we can't get Tam scoring, Maeda scoring, in a Nacho fit, Adami up to level, Mavuka, Balikwisha, never going to see a Celtic shirt ever again. We've got Carter Vickers that's still out for the summer, Jota out for the summer, Johnson will be back in April, Osman will be back in April. We got to deal with what we have. Arthur was pretty poor. There's only a handful of people thought Arthur was pretty poor. I thought he actually played all right. I would say probably a 7 out of 10. I thought he was quite composed on the ball. He had one mistray pass in the game. And that's, could be just nerves. It's a game in hand. stakes are high. You're coming to Celtic, and I don't agree with players coming on loan to us so we can develop them and then ship them back down the road, and we have no option to buy these players. It's the same with Araujo and Sarachi. We're developing Araujo. We're giving them minutes. Are we going to see Julian Araujo being a Celtic player next season? I'd say there's a 75% chance we won't see him as a Celtic player next season. I don't think Celtic are going to whip up 6 million quid to buy him because we have a young right back coming through the academy that we're trying to develop, Colby Donovan, and we have Alistair Johnson to come back in the helm as well. So yeah, how's it going, Joe? Over on Facebook. I hope you're doing good. Hello, Keith and all. Keith and all. Good stuff, Joe. Good to see you in. But Atate looked up for it. Atate did look up for it. You know, Atate's play towards the second goal was brilliant. The link-up play between the players for the second goal was good, really good. And James Forrest getting assists as well. But the evidence is there. We're really, really scraping it and riding our luck with this title. We really are. And you know what? We're still in it. We're in the 5th of March. We have 9 big league games to go. And we don't know what could happen. We could be over by next week, could be over in 2 weeks' time. We could go to the last day, you know, hoping that we could get a result. And it's in that way, the unknown, it's scary, but it's also exciting. And there's a lot of fans that are like completely 100% checked out saying we're not winning the title. As I said, I'm 90% there that I don't think we're going to win it. I just think I'm winging it each game. And, you know, I would not be touching Tam and Adamu for an option to buy into some. I just don't think they have it in the stomach. They have it in the belly to be Celtic players on a permanent basis. How's it going, Leah Aiden, is it? Over on Facebook. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for tuning in over on Facebook, folks. If you can give me a like on the video on Facebook, or love heart, or a care, I'll just give you a little shout out as well in the comments. Anyone over on YouTube, be a fucking legend. Hit that like button. Hit the like button. You know, it helps the algorithm. I'd be really appreciated. Thank you very much, Joe and Leah over on Facebook with the likes. Really appreciate it. I hope you subscribe at the end. Martin picked the wrong team last night. Got away with one Yang. Tomas McCown so poor. I thought Yang was absolutely brutal last night. I just think, regardless picking the team, and I just think certain players are up for it. Tierney's up for it. McGregor is up for it. He may not have the tank to go yard to yard. Up for it mentally, he's there. Forrest has shown that he's up for it. Being an impact sub, you know, Sinisalo's up for it. Araujo's up for it. It's Negrin. He's going to get the Ballon d'Or this season at this rate. The goals he's at the scoring. But I will talk about 4 players that we are linked with on the podcast tonight. The chances of getting them could be good. Will we fit the wage bill of a potential Celtic return for Andrew Robertson, Scotland captain, 32 years of age. He's guided his country to 3 finals, as in a World Cup finals, 2 Euro finals, you know, a promotion in the Nations League as well. You know, he's a solid player, but is he the answer that Celtic need in left back? Because I don't think we're going to sign Sarachi, you know, and regards to his wages, I don't know. I've watched Liverpool for a long time in my life. I've watched when Andy Robertson was signed from Hull to Liverpool, and I've a soft spot for Liverpool. A lot of people know, but Celtic's my #1 team, and Robbo has been a phenomenal player for them. A phenomenal player over the years. Like, this is a guy who's won 2 Premier Leagues. He's won a Champions League. He's worked one of the best managers in the world, Jurgen Klopp. I mean, Steve Clark. Steve Clark, of course, one of the best managers of all time. What are you joking? Look, give credit to Steve Clark. He has his country in the World Cup, and 2 back-to-back Euros. But I would love to take Rob out of Celtic for the experience. I think, you know what, we're not a retirement home. We're definitely not a retirement home. And if you can get him up the road, he's eager to obviously play for Celtic. He's a Celtic fan. You know, he got released from Celtic when he was a young boy. I think it was 9 years of age or 12 years of age. You can correct me on that. According, he was too small. But I just, I believe we need more leadership. If it's going to cost us in the wage bill, you get rid of Balakwisha, you get rid of Manacho, you get rid of Yang, them type of players that, like, Yang has been all right this season in certain spells, but last night just shows that you can't rely on him. He's not right up the wing. He's not going up the wing. He's trying to go cut in and doesn't always work like that. Wingers, the whole point of wingers is taking players on, using their ability, crossing balls, picking out players. And people were saying about Big Tom last night, was it a lack of service he's getting? I just think his mobility is not the greatest. He's good at holding the ball up, but see when it comes to actually getting on a ball or chasing down a player or heading the ball, I haven't seen enough to say, right, I'd really want him in the summer. Now, in 9 games time, I could turn around and say, oh my God, he's helped us win the league. Well, I seen a great comparison. Another YouTuber said this earlier on, and I'll give Bas the credit for this. He's like a wish version of Adamida, a poorer version of Adamida on the pitch. And I agree, I just think he isn't at the level. Bambi on ice. I know Barry said that last night. Barry's repeating himself, and it's great to see Barry contributing tonight. But yeah, I agree. Bambi on ice just doesn't have it. I know he might be working hard in training, but it's turning up on the stage and producing the goods. If it's assists or goals, look at Samaras. Samaras when he came in at Celtic on loan from Man City, he's got a few vital goals, but it was the contribution of the assists. Battling for the short. That's what won a lot of Celtic fans over. But we're going to go through the comments tonight. There's 50 people tuning in. What I would say on this late live podcast, subscribe. Don't be a fanny. Subscribe. Real people watch real people. It's nothing worse when you check your subscriber list or your video and 70% of the people haven't subscribed to your channel. What's the point? What is the point? Well, you have to come on and watch another video and watch another video. It's all about being a community, Good evening, Edward. How are you getting on? Great to see you in. Can't see big changes, right? So let's go into this, right? First of all, we're linked with this guy. According to Shaun Maloney, he's been doing a lot of recruitment work in the background. The source is Steve McGowan. Steve McGowan, really good source, but works for the Daily Mail. We're linked with Hibs defensive midfielder Miguel Chihuahua. Now, this guy, he's from Zambia. He's come through the Young Boys Youth Academy, and then he's played 24 games for Hibs, 2 goals, mostly defensive midfielder, right? Plays centre mid. His defensive contributions on the right-hand side, 60%. Aerial duels 1, which is fantastic to see because we're kind of, at the moment, we're kind of being very weak in that position of winning balls in the air, especially if our keeper's kicking out. Our DMs are not winning it. Well, our whole DM we have. So this is a guy that's valued at 1.3 million. He has 2 years left in his contract. Reports that Celtic have been eyeing this guy up since November. We didn't put official bid in January for him. I'd be in for him because you know what, I said it on the channel, and I'll prove what I'm been saying. Now this one here, I did say that we need a defensive midfielder. That would be the top option for me in the summer, because if you can't work that midfield engine room, what makes you think we're gonna do well in the midfield? We're gonna dominate games. We need to work in the midfield, getting defensive midfielder in. Some people might moan in the comments, say, he's not good enough for Celtic. It's a cheap option, blah, blah, blah. Let's be honest. Are the board going to go out and spend 7 or 8 million on a defensive midfielder to replace Callum McGregor in the next year or so? No, they're not. You know what we're dealing with? We're dealing with the most stingiest board in Scottish football, maybe the most stingiest board in British football. They don't want to spend. And some people might say, is this just a paper stunt to try win fans back over to show that they're trying to get players in? Is this down to the failures of the recruitment in the last window, where it feels like we're being offered players at the end of the season with an option to buy, but they're coming up and they're looking like duds. And the players that we actually do want that are on loan, we don't have option to buy them players. Like Srirachi. Like Srirachi, who's 27 years of age, 28 now next month. We've got Araujo, who has a good future ahead of him. I think, to be honest with you, with Araujo, I think it'd be a likes of a Villarreal or a, even a not a Valencia, a Villarreal or Atletico Madrid that will come in for Araujo. Someone you would be surprised. A team that may have Champions League experience or European experience will come in for Araujo. Maybe a La Liga team. So keep your eyes peeled on that one in the summer. If Alistair Johnson goes and we make a fee on Alistair Johnson over 10 million, you go in and buy Araujo for 5 or 6, and then obviously the club are going to pocket the 4 million because that's the Celtic way, the board way. Stephen says, I'm telling you, big changes in the summer. Summer money will be spent. Right. So there's 38 people tuning in tonight. Be brutally honest with yourselves in the comments. How much will Celtic spend this summer in the transfer window? This coming summer. Will we spend over 25 million? We have 70 million in the bank. Will we spend 20 million? But you got to think about what we want to spend, but what we want to get rid of. We have to think about the clear out as well. I've said this a couple of times on the channel. We need to clear out as well. Another guy that we're linked with, who I'm a fan of, I'll be honest, I'm a fan of these two from Motherwell. If I had my way, I'd go in and get 3 Motherwell players, maybe 4 Motherwell players. You know what? Bring the manager out as well while we're there. We're not linked with this guy, but I would take him. I would completely take him. I've discussed this guy on the channel since December. Elliot Watt, 25-year-old Scottish midfielder. He can play defensive midfielder, centre midfielder, attacking midfielder. He's played 32 games since the summer, 4 goals. He did pick up an injury for a couple of weeks, but I remember him playing against Celtic. He dominated the game against Celtic. There you go, 8.6. He was unbelievable the night we played at Fair Park. And who else was good that night was a guy called Elliot Just. Elliot Just, I'll show you now. He's a New Zealand international. He's 25 years of age, and the report he's on the Celtic wish list. We're looking at getting this guy in. A guy that's very versatile. He can play left wing, attacking midfielder, right wing, potentially get rid of Yang for him, and centre mid. He's played 33 games since last summer and 6 goals as well. And he does have a year left in his contract as well. New Zealand international, he's been capped 40 times for his country, 8 goals in there as well. This season, 6 assists, 6 goals, 1 yellow card, which is fantastic to see. Discipline, 25 games he's played. Why the fuck did we not get this guy in January is beyond me. A typical lazy board mentality. I'm all in for this guy. What's the point of us trying to go out to unknown leagues that I'm not familiar with, taking a punt on players like Shinamada, Inamura, that literally 6 months later they're out the door unknown. Get someone that's established in the league, someone that can actually have a bit of fight. And we all know how well Motherwell are playing this season. They're literally breathing behind us a couple of places in the table now since we moved up to second place. Motherwell are going to be a team that are going to cause chaos in the post-split fixtures. Even before the post-split fixtures, they're the team that everyone wants to be. Celtic are not the team that everyone wants to be anymore. Remember, Hearts ain't the team that everyone wants to be. You may think because they're top of the table, oh, everyone wants to be Hearts. Motherwell are the team that everybody wants to be because Motherwell have a togetherness. Motherwell play well. They're like a machine. They push. They play for each other. They're organised. Everyone knows their positions. Even when they went out to 10 men against Rangers, they were fucking brilliant. And this is why we're touted with their manager, because their manager is just showing some style of football that a lot of Celtic fans are growing into, want. He may not have won a lot of stuff on his CV, but he speaks well. He motivates his players well. He's a good coach. They've recruited quite well, and he's got a guy there in front, Masranise, who's banging goals in as well. So it's between him and Negrin for the golden boot in the league. So, but Courtney, we've been keeping tabs on Elliot Watt, or Elliot Just, sorry, and Elliot Watt. We haven't been linked with. I would have got him. Just think it would be a replacement for Tate. Which one? Just or what? Which plunge? Which one? I think you talk sense, getting on board. I'm just looking at it like in a bigger perspective. Like, would I take Robbo as well? I think Robbo would be more of a PR stunt. He's 22 years of age. He could still offer a lot at Celtic, but I'll give him a 2-year deal. Obviously, there's been rumours. Oxlade-Chamberlain had a podcast with Celtic TV, and he's basically said, "Oh, me and Andy are good friends a long time, and I was close to his mum and dad. His wife and my wife are close. Our kids were close. He told me so much about Celtic. He was the one that pushed me to go up to the club. I just told you. I haven't seen the comments there. I can't see Plunge there. You just said to be just a good fit. So I might just pop up. I might pop up Plunge. See, because I'm talking about two Motherwell midfielders. 5 players leaving. Ox, Atate, and Maeda away. Full rebuild required. 100%. Atate will leave. Maeda will leave. Oxlade-Chamberlain, I don't know. It's still a bit early to judge him because he's in a contract until the end of until May, the end of May. Schmeichel will leave. Iheanacho will leave. Tam will leave. I think we might listen to offers for Ingles. Bernardo will leave. Like, it's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy what's ahead, folks, at Celtic in the summer. And some people are saying, is it going to be worse than the Ronnie Doyle years? You can't write the season off if it hasn't even started yet. The preparation going into it is the most important before the ball's kicked. The pre-season, getting the manager in the door, getting fans back on board, because you think there's a bit of a civil unrest at the moment between the happy clappers and certain fans that are just all over the shop, feeling not motivated about games. It could get worse next season. We're all Celtic fans. No one should be put into a certain label of a happy clapper or anti-board. We all wear the hoops. We all want the same thing: winning. Winning is the formula. Winning is a part of Celtic's identity. Winning trophies. And we may go this season without a trophy, but it doesn't mean you turn your back on your club. You back your club. You stand behind your club for next season. Let me see what you're saying, Barry. Do you think we should stop playing crazy passing at the back? 100%. I've done this on me. I said this last night on me watch along. It's kamikaze football. That's the best way to label it. You play a lot of football at the back. As I said, about 40% of our possession is between the back four, and it's not Bartini and Arajo, the 2 centre backs, are not being constructive in the play. They're doubting their ability. They're afraid to. I think last night in the second half we did see Scales getting up a little bit. We've seen Benjamin Arthur getting up a little bit. When we have this game on Sunday at Ibrox, I don't know if Trusty will play because he will be available. I don't know if Murray will be available if he picked up that injury last night. But there's no point playing the guessing game. Like, there's no point of doing your head in for the next 3 days. Like, oh my God, who's going to start? Is he going to play Tom? Is he not going to play Tom? You can't control who Martin O'Neill picks, but Martin O'Neill has to pick a squad of players that he has trust in, a squad of players that can go to Ibrox on Sunday, take the game to Rangers, not fucking be on the back foot for the first half, and letting them fucking run muck against us. Because if they did score if they scored the third goal, I think it would have been curtains closed. Curtains closed, to be honest. And lucky that we had a crop of players that got into the game. There was changes done. It's going to be it. I would not be surprised, folks. I would not be surprised this will go to extra time and penalties this time. I think Rangers will now be all over the shop after throwing them points away. I don't think Rowe will go out and try get his team press into a certain way. I think Celtic will be more will have more possession in the game, but it's been constructive. It's shown what you can do with the ball in the final third. That's an issue. That's what's going to stop us from winning the league. Like, do I think defensively we're okay? Still rocky, still quite rocky, but attacking wise, it's my concern. My concern is I don't have trust in the Czech Republic international. I don't have trust in the Austrian international Adamu. I don't have trust in them. And when people say play two up front, Martin O'Neill is not going to play two up front. There's no point even having that conversation. There's no point. There's no point of riddling your brains with fake energy that's not going to work. You know that way. Trusty can't play in the cup anyway. No. Now he can play in the cup, Stephen. He's available for the cup, as far as I know. Not in the league. 3 league games it was. Plunge says, Keith, we all want to win, but we always have to respect and not treat with contempt from people whose wages we pay. 100% Plunge. Plunge. This will riddle the brain for you. Let's get this up for you. There you go, Plunge. Now I don't know what 25s. So, folks, to all the folks that are like, don't call the board out, that are afraid to call the Celtic board out, let's look at this. Let's look what Krista McCoy is on. Well, this is what I pulled at the latest, the 2024 stats. I don't know exactly the 25 stats. I think Michael Nicholson could be on over 900k now. McCoy could be on 600k. But this is just an example of this boardroom of what they're earning on an annual basis. And people think this is okay. People think this is fine. People think, these cronies sitting in their stands, looking on their phones, not being as passionate as you is fine because they're businessmen. They have our club in a great green place. But yeah, when you have us in a great green place, in the bunker, and you're not looking at that storm ahead out the window, it's going to hit you eventually. And that tsunami is going to hit us. And I think we've already got wave of tsunami of emotion by not qualifying for the Champions League, by not investing in that 2 or 3 players Brendan Rodgers wanted, not backing our previous predecessor. I wouldn't call Nancy a manager. He's never a Celtic manager. Brendan Rodgers, not backing him because he had 1 year left. This is the type of shit people need to wake up to. This is the type of stuff that isn't going to get us anywhere. So for season ticket holders, for people that are buying merch, for people that are buying a pie in the stadium, you're paying their fucking wages to represent you. But yeah, they ain't representing you to the level where you can turn around and say, I trust this board. A lot of fans in British football and across the football spectrum have faith in their boards because they know that their boards have a relationship with them. Look at Laporta at Barcelona. He's a relationship with the fans. That's why he gets voted back in on the presidential elections. Good Perez. A lot of people don't like him, but he gets voted back in when it comes to the Real Madrid elections. Look at the boards down in England. They may have the money behind them, but they still have a communication with the fans. The problems is with Celtic board, they have restricted fan media. They won't let the fans ask the big questions. When it comes to an AGM, they run away. As we say in Peter Lawwell, some people might praise Peter Lawwell for keeping the books clean for a long time, getting us out of the red books from 2003 onwards. But you can't keep scrounging. You can't keep scrounging. You can't have a group. You can't have a group of friends. There's one in the group that doesn't buy the rounds. Doesn't want to buy the rounds, even though he's after getting his bonus. He's afraid to buy the rounds at the table because he needs it for another rainy day. That's what we get, you know. It's just madness. I think Arthur with confidence looks more like Bobo Baldi than Virgil van Dijk. It's very early to compare this guy Benji Arthur. Minutes and performances will judge him. Last night he looked composed, and I know he compared himself to Virgil van Dijk, but let's see what happens. Look, he's working with a good set of players. Some of these players may not have the confidence they once had, but I just feel like there's a lot ahead, folks. And I don't want to come onto my podcast and repeat the same cycle of shite, repeat the same moany antics. I don't want to feel like I am. Oh, Keith's calling in to Super Scoreboard to have a moan. The same shite moaning every day he's doing every single week. No, we'll get there. But how do you feel? Do you think Shaun Maloney is identifying targets for the next manager to come in? Will it be Roberto Martinez, the Portugal manager, Spanish man that managed Portugal, that has won a Nations League with Portugal, which is his contract is set to expire after this summer's World Cup? Will it be Martinez? Martinez, obviously, his wife is Scottish. She's looking for a move back home. He's played up here for Motherwell and stuff like that. Will it be Roberto Martinez? Will it be the Motherwell manager? Will it be Askew? Will it be Big Jens Askew? I wanted to be Big Jens Askew, but I need to say this, and I will say, I've said this about 4 times over the last 2 weeks. Regardless who comes in, they're gonna have to bend over for the board anyway, because that's who the bosses are. That's who their employers are. They're not going to turn around and say, hold on a minute, I want 20 million. And then you get a couple of bad results, they're out the door quick enough. You need to have that relationship as well alongside your board while you're trying to build a relationship with the fans. It's people are mad to think like we're going to come in, we're going to have a real a manager that's just going to have a fight. He's going to unite us. He's going to tell the board this, he's going to tell the board that. I won't look like that with this board, I'm telling you. I won't. I love it. I love to have someone like that, like an Ange model. But after a while, if they're not trying to sell a vision to you, they might well be honest and say, right, like Nicholson should come down and say, right, the end of the summer, if we don't win the league or we don't win the Scottish Cup, right, we've been very unsuccessful this season. Take some accountability. They should, which they don't. They don't take accountability for anything. And say, right, our process of recruiting players, our process of recruiting Nancy, our process this season wasn't up to the standards. We apologise to the fans. But now we do have a vision. We have we had a revision of the squad, revision of the recruitment. We're looking at a new structure. We're looking at a new way of analytics. We're looking at a new scouting department. If you came out and said, right, this is the direction we're going, you need to be patient with us. If you can give us a year or two to get us to a level stronger than what we previously was under Brendan Rodgers pushing the Champions League, I think a lot of people would get on board. But the chances that happen to be better off fucking winning the Euro millions, to be honest, which is, you think it's going to be a Maloney? I wouldn't be surprised If they don't get Askew, they probably will go for Maloney. That's the Celtic cheap model. I'd only take Maloney if Martin O'Neill is a director of football. That's the only way I'd take Maloney, to be honest with you. They allow this disgrace that the union brought to their stadium while banning their own season ticket supporters is about to happen again. Yeah, because you know why? You know why? Because this board and the Green Brigades, as much as the Green Brigade have tried to reach out and tried to get this resolved, they don't want the Green Brigade in. They don't want ultras in, because this is the typical Tory board. They want to have their own way of dealing business. They just look at these people as like, you know what? They're numbers, regardless that ethos. They've hit us with fines. If they hit us with fines, we're just going to replace them. We have people on the waiting list. We'll replace them. The Green Brigades go from Celtic Park permanently. It's going to be a kick in the face. The atmosphere is never going to be the same. I've already seen it already. The atmosphere isn't the same. And I know there's fans that do not like the Green Brigade. I like the Green Brigades. You know, I think they bring energy to a match day. And I've said this already. If you could get 58,000 fans getting up off their seats and singing the boys on this title run, I think a unity of fans will come back together at Celtic Park. But it's up to the rest of the fans to do their job as well. It's up to them. You know, it's up to them to realise, right? I just had to pay 500 quid for my season ticket. Do I really want to sit on my hole and expect Celtic to score? The only time I'll sing is when we're 1-0 up for 5 minutes the game. I'll only sing when You Never Walk Alone's on. I'll only sing when we're playing Rangers. I'll only sing when we're playing Hearts. More than that, folks. It's 38 games a season in the league. You need to get behind your team, home and away, if you get the opportunity, you know. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. Sometimes I just let the chat flow on. If he's worth 6 million, Celtic would offer 1.5. See, the problem is you're going to get that with Scottish teams. So, for example, say that Hibs defensive midfielder, the Zambian defensive midfielder, Miguel. He could be worth about 1.7 million. But Hibs will put him to 3 million. And Celtic will decide to go in with a lazy fucking approach to everything, the piss take approach, or we'll give 2 million. And Hibs will turn around and say 2.7 million. Celtic will go 2.3 million. And then they'll just leave it. And then what happens is word comes out that Celtic are interested in this midfielder. Clubs down in England, the championship team might come in with 3 million, offer double the wages, and he's fucking gone. And there's another mess. The same situation with Maspanise. Maspanise, well, he's 24 years of age. He's an international for Zimbabwe. He's at the banging in. There's a 17, 18 goals this season. And he should be on a hot list. Instead, what did we do? We went for a lanky string of piss is at the coming from the Bundesliga, who hasn't cut it, who's playing over in Turkey on a wet weekend. You've got this guy now, Maspanise, 68 games from Motherwell, 28 goals. 28 goals. And I know fans might not like me calling Big Tam a lanky string of piss because he hasn't cut it. We want to win a league. Stop giving people stop picking up for the players that ain't cutting it. Stop being sort of soft. Criticize people when they're not doing their job right. That's what you do. Because sometimes they need to kick up the arse and realise what they're playing for. They're not playing for fucking Motherwell. They're not playing for fucking Rafe Rovers. They're playing for Celtic Football Club. You need to get a finger out of the hole and realise how big this is. The stakes are high. If you want to be the champions of Scotland for the 56th time in the history, you got to fucking turn up and earn your money. I'll give you an example of Big Tam from Czech Republic. Do you know how much he's on a week? He's on 42 grand a week. 42 fucking grand a week he's on before tax. 42 grand a week. That is robbery. Inacho is on 30 grand a week. 30K a week. You know, when you call them out and call them fucking mints, you get criticised. Oh, that's not fair. Oh, you're not a football fan. Oh, you don't have a clue. Oh, you're just a happy clapper. Oh, you have short memories. Nah, I don't have short memories because maybe these fucking players haven't given me fucking memories. That's the problem. That is the problem. You know, that is the problem with some folk. You shouldn't be allowed mention anything. I think the signings you've mentioned have sales meaning. Buying more than rumours is rubbish. Look at Stephen, actions speak louder than words. The transfer window hasn't even clicked in yet. But if you're doing your background work and you're identifying players, it's some sort of moving maybe some way of a direction away from the negative stuff, you know. I think we'll get Roberto Martinez, and I'll be sick. I'm not fully against Roberto Martinez. Here's it for you, right? Would you rather Robbie Keane or Roberto Martinez? Just put it out there. Just answer the question if you can. We already knew he wasn't good enough, so that's why it's at the board. You should never sign them. You go back over the video I made when before we signed them. I fucking shredded into the guy. I was like, this guy isn't cutting the level in for Borussia once you come back. Why the hell are we getting someone that's like third choice striker? At least Adamida came in and actually scored goals when he was on loan. You know, Kane's a hothead. You know, I don't know what. Look, I think it's causing a headache within the Celtic community because we want to manage our force before we want players. We want a manager. We want to have that recruitment conversation, and I think Martin O'Neill should be a part of that recruitment interviewing process because Martin O'Neill knows how to work with these players. Look what happened with Wilfred Nancy. Wilfred Nancy had a 15-minute conversation with Martin O'Neill after Martin O'Neill had him touching distance away from Hearts to maybe go ahead of Hearts that weekend. But what happened, Nancy, being a pure pleb as he is, fucked it up, trying to implement his style of football. Not tweaking things. He just wanted to go all out and try and make it stop. I'm going to bring this to Celtic. You bring nothing but fucking misery. Whenever a manager, yeah, exactly. But the thing is, the way Celtic works, managers don't really get a say. Martin O'Neill's at the being missold a lot of fucking duds. You know, I don't think we'll get any of them managers. I think we'll take the time. We haven't had the manager since January. What do you mean take that time? It's nearly we're 3 months in. We still haven't even looked at a recruiting policy yet for a manager. Who's scouting for us? I'll be honest with you. I don't fucking know. I don't care. I don't look at the scouting department. I know that head of scouting was Mark Lawwell at one point, and he got the boot. I don't know who's scouting. According to Maloney's been looking at the scouting side. I need to look into it more detail. I actually don't know the answer. You know, now agents get bigger say the managers. Correct, Brian. This is why we've seen the decline in players in the squad. Like Daisy Maeda, is his agent in his ear telling them to just don't play well. Let's fucking move you on. Or maybe he's just lost the hunger. Look at Maeda last night. He had 2 chances on goal. One chance nearly went off the corner, and then the other chance he fell off the ball. Trying to keep it in. It's just sad. As I said, it's the decline of Daisy. It is the sad decline of Daisy Maeda. A guy that scored in the first 4 minutes of his Celtic career against Hibs at Celtic Park. The guy that we signed that had the shave, the baldy head with the mustache. Now he just looks like he's fucking wearing a fucking blonde fucking wig from K-pop. Like, what the fuck? You know, it's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. I know K-pop South Korean, but yeah. think they will wait until after Martin gets the double. Fucking hell, Stephen, you're a very cocky person. Gets the double. I don't know. Why are you saying that thing Celtic will get the double? Be honest with yourself. Celtic are going to win the double. Have you seen the state of our forward line? Have you seen the state of our defence at times? Have you seen the state of our play at times? We're literally scraping through games. Literally scraping through games. And isn't that the standard? It's the worst Celtic team I've seen in 20 odd years. That's not a word of a lie. Probably 27 years. Days and intentionally fluffed the chance versus the Sheep. I don't think he intentionally fluffed it. I just don't think he has the confidence, to be honest. You know, we will probably get blown up by the American dictator, no matter what. Jesus Christ, Stephen. It hasn't hit this shores just yet. You know, if we have any scouts, they should be sacked by the looks of it. Look, it's the analytics, the data, the scouting department. There's no director of football. It's just a broken fucking box. It really is a broken box. You know, the operations of from top to bottom is completely broken. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. Right, folks, I'm going to stay on for another 5 minutes and then I'm going to call it a night. There's 42 people tuning in. Good to see the numbers up tonight. I know it's nearly midnight. How he's all getting on? Are he's walking late? He's in bed, having a packet of Doritos at this late night. Are you having a cup of tea? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. Where you're tuning in the world. If you like the jumper, please let us know. Hope I haven't bored the tits out of you tonight as well. The board have done this for years. The board stopped 10 in a row. 100%, Andrew, on the button there, but they did stop 10 in a row. Sleeping at the wheel. That famous picture. I don't know if I have it. Actually, might have it here. Do I have the sleeping at the wheel? I do. There we are. There's the famous sleeping at the wheel, eh? That's it. There it is there. So the last time we went to Ibrox with a full broom long, this guy he's not from France, by the way. He's from a French colony. He was born in South America. That was colonized by the French. People didn't know that about Hudson Edwards, you know. And then he moved to Paris when he was quite young. Hudson Edwards scored the third goal in that game. We went on to beat Rangers 3-2. Mother's Day 2018. Know it quite well. I remember sitting there in my house. My mammy was on the wickets. My dad was getting ready, spicing himself up with the old spice to go out that day. We bring my mum out to the pub we did for Mother's Day. Met up with my granddad. We got a taxi up today. We got a taxi up to a place called the Jolly Topper in Finglas. I was wearing the long sleeve hoops that day. And I got there for the second half. I remember quite well. And what a performance. What an absolute performance. Brendan Rodgers, the tactical genius at the time, switching around. Obviously, Simonovic got sent off. That fucking cunt. What's his name? Who was the linesman? He's in the Scottish Parliament. That Tory guy. What's his name? Oh, someone put in the comments. What's his name? He was the one that, straight away with the flag. What's his name? Jesus Christ, stuck in my head now. I'm not even going to Google it because it'll actually infuriate me. What was his name? That gobshite. Douglas Ross. Was it Douglas Ross? It was Douglas Ross, wasn't it? It was Douglas Ross. That's the one. That shit. Douglas Ross. Oh, God, yeah. Do you remember that yesterday? Douglas Ross. Yeah, he's doing well. I wanted to talk about him on my channel, actually, Hudson Edwards. I think he has 9 goals in League On. He's doing all right over in League On. Let's see. I wanna sack the board. I wanna Look at that, they're second in the league on. Hudson Edward, 10 goals and 22 appearances. Fuck me, we could do with Edward right now. Better than Big Tom. And that would drop on transfer value market, 7.6 million. Does Eddie want to come back to Celtic for a couple of years? Does he? Does he? Does he want to come back to Celtic? Let's see. Why is this not sharing actually? Can you not see this on the screen? Just 2 seconds, folks. Let's see why this is not sharing. Just gonna just try this Hudson Edward stuff. See why is it not working. Didn't they done this last night as well? Are we in business? Let me see. We are in business. I'm just gonna change the screen there so you can see the screen a little bit better. There we go. So Hudson Edward, he has 10 goals in 22 appearances for Lens, if you want to say in Francais. He's done well. 81% chances. I got his conversion rate of 81%. Touches 32%. Shot attempts 55%. His value went down. Didn't work out at Palace. Went to Leicester on loan. Shite at Leicester. Played 6 games. Crazy to think. Hudson Edward had 89 goals for Celtic. 179 appearances. That's not bad. Sad that he actually finished his Celtic career on more goals than Kyogo did. Kyogo had 85 goals for Celtic. Crazy to think, isn't it? Madsen. We've all been honest. Didn't want him back until I seen the shit we've got now. It's just the truth, isn't it? I take him back. Is John Hartson available? Is he? Big bad John up front. He'd do a job. I checked out 100% in his last season. We still scored like 18 goals or something that season, Edward. Like, it's mad to think. See, the season before, he was on fire. People were even comparing him to Lars, and I was like, lads, calm down. Remember his free kick against Motherwell? Oof. He actually scored 2 free kicks against Motherwell, I can remember. One at Fair Park as well. Bring on Captain Lustig. PC Lustig. What a guy. I mean, 3 players that play plenty for the jersey. Well, look, Edwards was the past. I know some fans don't like going backwards. I think Edward, if he came back to Celtic, he'd get a season now. Good football of him, and then his stubbornness will get to him. Look at Cham. Cham got fucking too big for his boots. And people were kind of putting Atate in the same kind of categories in Cham. Atate is well better than Cham. Atate, on his day, was the best midfielder in Scotland. And I'll give it to Rio Atate. Over the last kind of 3 games, I think he's turned the corner. Though I still think he's at the hotel lobby waiting for the bus stop to pull up. I still think he's waiting for the shuttle bus to pull up. So let's just enjoy the last of a Rio Atate before he leaves. I think Days of Maeda is after having too many cocktails. That's why he's falling off the ball. He can't even take a proper shot. Too many pina coladas for Days of Maeda at this rate. But one thing I will say, I was looking at Negrin's stats last night, and what a poacher. What an absolute poacher, Negrin. Wait to see this, right, folks? This is something else. I'll get Edward off the screen in a second. See you later, Robertson. All the best in France. Hope you do well over there. So, look at this, folks. This is interesting. I'll try to zoom this in. Let's see, can we zoom this in? Oh, Jesus, that's too far. Right. Creepy noise. It sounds like something out of Shining. This is Negrin's goals this season, right? He's only scored 1 goal from outside the box, folks. Look at this. This is just, by the way, this isn't the league. This is not in the Europa League or any of the cups or anything like that. Look at this. Look at all the goals he's had to score. Proper poacher's goals. And I'm gonna throw the suggestion in, right? I'm gonna say it right now, and I'm being honest with you. Fuck Check Tom. Fuck Amadu. Fuck Days of Maeda. Benji Negrin up front on Sunday. Benji Negrin plays up front on Sunday. You know, if he has to dip back a bit, so what? Get him the service. Get Jamesy on the wing. Get Taneki on the left. And if Taneki's playing shy, bring on fucking the Japanese M&M. Fucking Maeda Shady, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, you know. Benji can finish. Benji finishes his dinner quick. Like man versus fucking Fields. Get him in there. Get him in there. I don't think Atate and Maeda was showing again. They want away. Not happy in Scotland. Do you blame them? Look at the bleeding weather up here. It's fucking freezing. Do you blame them? You get fucking sausage roll and Greg's, it's bleeding freezing within 2 minutes walking down the road. It's just madness. Joking. Scotland's a beautiful country. Good place. Good place. You know. What can I say? I've got my club here and I've got my woman here. You know. That's what I need. That's all I need. You know. But yeah. Benji can finish. Negrin, Forrest, and Taneki, the front three. 100%, Stevie. How he's all getting on. So another 3 minutes, folks. I will be back on tomorrow night. I don't know if I'm going to get on Saturday night. It just depends if I can get a bit of time to myself on Saturday night. I'll try to get on for a half-an-hour podcast. If I can get on Saturday night. Sadly, I won't be able to do a pre on Sunday for the game. I'll be busy on Sunday, and then Sunday night I'll be on late Sunday night for a post-match reaction. If we get pumped or be pumped you know, there's going to be a winner on Sunday anyway. There's no replay. It goes into extra time. Brazen on Sunday? No, it's not. Favourite Celtic pub in Glasgow, the Brazen. I don't like Grace's. I just think Grace's, it's just a bleeding sweat merch. That's what it is. You know, I just don't. I'm not a big fan of Grace's. Connolly's is all right. Keto Shares is all right. Murphy's, can't get coverage in Murphy's, you know. Malone's is good. I like Malone's. But nah, Brazen probably be my favourite Celtic pub because it's proper atmosphere in there. It's a good community folk as well. Decent point of Guinness as well. All right prices as well. So yeah, you can't complain. Can't complain. Good folk. I've met good folk over there over the years. Some good lads I've met in there over the years, you know. That's it. They're all bleeding useless. Duds. No, don't be sorry. I knew straight away what you meant. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. But yeah. Barry says, I would take any strike in the Premiership other than dummies that we have. They didn't take Johnny Russell back at this rate. Johnny Russell. He's at the rejoining Dundee United. Played from back in 2013. But no, this is what I'm trying to say to you. I just think the firepower is gonna let us down winning this league. If we're 0-0 60 minutes into a game and who we rely on fucking Tam, that's like Bambi on ice. I just don't know. I'm not here to slay players, folks. I'm here to, you know, hopefully be optimistic and think of, you know, we have a good chance here. But it's the final towards my issue. You know, if we didn't have Benjamin Negrin, we would be probably fifth in the table, folks. Let's be realistic. If we didn't have Benjamin Negrin, Celtic would be probably fifth in the league. Is it the truth though? Let me know in the comments. It's mad to think like that. Without Negrin, we would be around. We could be fifth or sixth. We could have been playing bottom split fixtures. Madness. You know, madness. You know, all the strikers are shy. They're all stealing a wage. They're all bleeding it away with bleeding murder. Look in Nacho. Where is he? He's down in Manchester. He's down in Manchester, fucking personal training. What a waster! What an absolute waster! Good for Man City, decent for Leicester. Just went out the face of the earth. Went to Middlesbrough, played 15 games, didn't score 1 goal. Went to Sevilla. It's absolute shite for Sevilla. You know, the only reason we got him in is because it was after transfer deadline day, and we were all raging that we sold Ida. You know, Ida wasn't great in his permanent basis at Celtic. We needed to replace that hole. You know, I said it before. Negri needs to put in a shift. 100%. Doesn't do enough on the shift side of it. So, just speaking on that before I head to bed. I think I'm playing rapper here. Head to bed. Right. This is my concern about Benji Negrin. He's doing the goal side of it. He's absolutely unbelievable. And people saying that he may not live up to near level of Matt O'Reilly. He came in to replace Kiln. You know, but his need is got. You could even beat Matt O'Reilly's record for goals in one season. Matt O'Reilly scored 19 goals. Benji's on 19. Benji still has 10 games to go. Right, so this is what you need to look at, folks. Defensive contributions, 42%. That's concerning. Aerial duels, 62%. Touches, 89%. Shots attempts is brilliant. Goals, 99%. You know, guy's on fire. He's going to be getting that Ballon d'Or if we do win a double, you know. But a double's another talk away. Let's get through these games. You know, let's get through them. Oh, thank you very much for the £2. Thoughts on Andy Robertson joining? Right, let's go into Andy Robertson before I call it a day. Robertson, right? I'm in for Andy Robertson joining. I think we need experience. We need to stop worrying about the wage structure as well at times. This guy is set to the core. Would you rather have someone that you're paying 40 grand a week to who will fucking die for this club, or have 3 players that are duds in your squad that will never get it? Let's be honest. Would you rather that wages going on Andy Robertson or 3 duds? That's what I need. That's the question that you need to ask yourselves. Yes, he's 30. Yes, he's almost 32 years of age. He's had a phenomenal career, nearly 400 games for Liverpool. You know, a guy that's, you know, he's won everything in world football. He's won a Club World Cup. He's won a Premier League title. There it is there on the screen, folks. The guy is a bleeding showstopper. FA Cup, 2 Premier Leagues, you know, Champions League, Carabao Cup winner, Super Cup winner, the Premier Asia Trophy. But yeah, he's done it. Like, he hasn't been playing much this season, folks, because he's been second choice and he's picked up a lot of injuries as well. But Robbo is all keen about coming up. I think, you know what, if you keep Oxlade-Chamberlain and have Robbo around and Tierney, like Robbo's a captain. Imagine McGregor, Tierney, and Robbo on the same fucking pitch. Same pitch wearing hoops. It's all good for Scotland. But for fucking Celtic, he would pay out his skin for Celtic. He would throw himself in front of everything. He's just a proper ambassador for the Scottish game. You know, and you know, I'd be all in for Robbo signing a 2-year deal. Why not? You know, we're not signing him. He's at 36. He still has a lot to offer, and he can get up them flanks as well. You know, he's a good passer of the ball. You know, I think he's hurting, to be honest with you. I think he's dying to get out. I think he's looking forward to getting away from Liverpool. I think the whole Jota death is affecting him big time. He was quite close to Diogo Jota, and the way he spoke about Diogo Jota as well. He said, "Look, when I qualified for the World Cup, all I kept thinking about was Diogo Jota this week," and stuff like that. And you could see the hurt in his eyes and stuff like that when he's lost one of his good friends. So yeah, I think, you know, he had a chance to go to Spurs in the last window, but I'd like to see Robbo come up. Really would, Mark. I would be all in for it. As I said, it's some fans will moan like, "Oh, here we go." We're getting Zimmer frame players as always, like we got Schmeichel, like we got Hart, like we got this. Just tell them people to shut the fuck up. They're not playing in the hoops, are they? Are they fucking making the wages there? No. They don't get it all right. You know, I'd take him. I'd give him a natural wages. Exactly. John's on the ball. You know, you can take Dan's wages as well, you know. Tierney's on 50 grand a week. Robo's on 120 grand at Liverpool. Contract talk stalled ages ago. But I love to see him at Celtic. I'm all in for it. But the chances of that happening, I'll be honest with you, it's probably about a 60% chance of that happening. It's the wages. He's gonna have offers on the plate for him when he's leaving Liverpool, you know. But he's made it clear he was up the other day. He was up watching Celtic the other day. He's a massive Celtic fan. And that's a big incentive. And you know, he already said it to Oxlade Chamber, get yourself up that road. You know, even what's his name? Who was that guy that played centre back for us? Nat Williams. He even said to Nat Williams to get up the road at that time. You know, could be worse. Imagine supporting Spurs. Oh yeah, Spurs lost tonight. They got beat by Palace. They haven't been the same since the big sexy Ange left. That's why. That's what the problem is. Wolves are playing Liverpool again in the FA Cup. Is that right? Did not play them the other day in the Premier League. Jesus. You probably see Robert play. Spurs are beating 3-1. 3-1 tonight at home. You know, 3-1. You know, I'm all in for it, Shaun. I really am. Really am for it. So, folks, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the live tonight. An hour and 8 minutes of talking absolute spiel. Just tuned off. Just turned off the music to join in. I'm sorry, Scott. I'm really sorry. Scott, this is for you, bud. This is for you. 2 seconds, Scott. I'll put this on for you. Just for you.
Don't you think that they need the Champions League's money here? I think so. I think they need that. I think that's a good answer, isn't it?
That's the least they can do, you know. Knowing Airborne, knowing Rooney is a Celtic fan, he'd probably be an ex-Celtic manager. I hope not. I wouldn't touch him. I wouldn't touch him. Wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot barge.
Don't you think that they need the Champions League's money here? I think so. I think they need that. I think that's a good answer, isn't it?
It is.
I couldn't give a fuck.
I've seen that video in the group. I still stop laughing. Hell. They need the money. 100% they need the money. Right, folks, I'll be back on tomorrow night. Probably early enough. Looking about 6:30. 6:30. Oh God, that's what we need. We need Doyle Smith to be telling the fans, where are they? Where are they? We need you. Who are you? Oh God. But I'm gonna leave it, folks. Hope you all subscribe to the channel. Be a legend and press that subscribe button. But I'm off.